We're the indie project Bee and Theo, and we've been living and travelling the world in vans for the past 6 years. We're currently renovating an abandoned stone barn in Portugal to turn into a beautiful tiny home for us and our cats Ginjey Bear and Furrnando. Follow our journey from the very beginning as we document the whole process of creating an off-grid home.
Good morning guys, welcome back to a brand new video here on our property in sunny Central Portugal. It's another gorgeous day, but it's actually really chilly this morning. It was a cold night last night, but it's gonna be a good day. We have a really cool project that I'm excited to show you that we're working on right now. So as you can see here, we have 4 new posts at the back of the barn, and this is going to be the post to hold the structure for our lean-to on the back, where we're going to store all of our firewood. We're going to store, I don't know, the boiler, so we got hot water inside the house. And you can see down here, last night it was threatening to be freezing, and luckily there was no frost, but what I did anyway is I covered up with some cork insulation, as you can see down here, and some wooden boards just over the footings, because that was fresh concrete in the ground yesterday to secure these posts. And luckily there wasn't a frost, so it looks like we're good to go and continue today. So the back of this building is quite a bit higher than the front, the ground level that is, because they just piled dirt up here many years ago and they'd put it right to the back, touching the wall, and that is why we had all the troubles with moisture coming through, and that is why we've dug a trench so that we will have a French drain when the house is finished inside and we've got our electrics and plumbing and all of that in. We can finally do the French drain. But the tiles that we're using on the roof, we're going to continue using them tiles for the extension lean-to, and they have a minimum pitch of 14 degrees, so that is the minimum we can come off for the lean-to, which means it's going to be fairly low on the back end, the roof is, but that's completely fine because this is just a lean-to. It's not like the veranda that we're going to be using every single day. This lean-to is just for storage, for wood, to keep the boiler away from the rain. And as you can see here, we've gone for nice big chunky metal posts to hold this structure in place. These are 10 by 10s and really sturdy. So with this lean-to project, because it's going onto the existing roof and it's not completely its own structure, it means that there's a lot of time spent laying everything out, making sure everything's straight, everything's plumb, everything's level, so that when we go to put the tiles on, they can connect with the other tiles. As I said, if it was just a straight lean-to and it wasn't connecting onto the existing building, it would be a lot faster and easier. But so far it's looking so good. The next step of the lean-to project is to start cutting the rafters, and we've gone for nice chunky sizes of metal for this project because, believe it or not, the amount of tiles that go on just this lean-to weighs nearly a ton. So the spec we've gone for the rafters is 100 by 50 mil, and then the posts are 100 by 100. So it's nice and chunky, and it means that it matches nicely with the front veranda as well.
Have you ever thought about building your own website and just been put off because it seems like a massive faff and it's something that you've got no experience in? Well, I'm here to tell you that today's sponsor, which is Squarespace, will help you make your own website an absolute reality, and it'll be a breeze doing it at the same time. So Squarespace is an online platform where you can build and design your own websites without any experience whatsoever. They've got loads of different themes for you to choose from that you can then completely customize to you by changing the color, changing the font, adding new features in there, even build a logo. Honestly, there's something to suit everyone on there, and we've had our website with them for over 4 years now because it's just so easy to use, and if I ever feel like switching something up, I can do it really fast and completely on my own. So if you want to try out Squarespace, click the link in our description or head to squarespace.com/indieprojects and you can get a 2-week free trial and 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain.
So the lean-to project is going really nicely and Theo's doing an excellent job. I know it sounds like I'm actually talking about myself when I say Theo. It's quite funny because I've never actually met another Theo in my lifetime. I know there's a lot of you out there, but I've never met you. And here I am working with another Theo, and we seem to be getting on really well together and working well together, which is good. And things are really taking shape now. We've just got the metal tiling battens to add to the frame, and then we can start tiling, and I know once the tiles go on it's going to blend it so nicely into the rest of the roof. And I haven't been able to film as much as I'd liked because Bee's been off site, but I'm sure you can appreciate I can't be in 2 places at once. Time has come to swap out the battery in the tractor. We got a nice fresh one from the city the other day. It has been sitting in the car in some cold conditions, but it should be fine, and hopefully this tractor starts up first time because we need to use it in a minute actually. Battery can go back in the truck where it belongs. So with these old tractors, you have to preheat them. So if I just try and start it like that, it's not going to start. So it depends how cold it's been the night before, basically, depending on how much I heat it. And you can just put your finger over the the glow plug kind of area, and you can feel it. Once that's warm, then you can try and start. So it should.
It's been a fairly busy week, but we've got a lot of stuff done, and I'm really excited about the lean-to because now it's done. It means we've got even more space to store things right by the barn. It's going to be a really good area for us to have our utilities, wood, all sorts of things, and also it looks really lovely. It blends in so well. Looks like it's always been there and fits in seamlessly.
Guys, how good does our lean-to look? We are incredibly happy with it. So big up to Theo for coming over and getting what was in my brain and on paper and turning it into reality, because it looks so good. And now we have quite a bit of extra storage space. I mean, I can actually park the tractor under here, which was one of the things I wanted to use it for, but it's also going to house our boiler, so our hot water boiler. A lot of you guys are wondering about plumbing and all of that kind of thing. So our boiler will sit under here. We're going to have a log store at the far side, so all of our dry wood can be stored for a year before we use it. In the winters, we're going to need a nice wood burner in there. We've actually already got the wood burner. We're just waiting for the floor to go down and then it can go in. It will also keep the rain away from this problematic back side of the barn, because that's where we're getting all the water ingress. So this just keeps the water way away. Also in the summer, it's another wall protected from the crazy Portuguese sun, which will keep it even cooler inside. So you can see the size of the lean-to here from the side profile. And another reason for doing this is this window here. This is going to be a really nice ventilation. So in the summer, we can keep this window open all the time and no sun's directly going to get into there. But also in the winter, when it's raining, we can still have the window open, get some nice air flowing through the building. And also it means that we can have pretty much a permanent cat flap. I think that window is going to stay open pretty much most of the time. So that's one of the next projects actually. We need to get that window in, because once the floor's down, we're soon to be moving in and we don't want big open gaps where it can stay cold.
Another thing worth mentioning is that we're going to be storing our gas bottles under here, which are going to be used for cooking and also hot water. I'm very excited to have hot water on demand to wash up whenever I want. It's the little things like that that you really do take for granted, and to be moving into this barn, having those amenities, is very exciting indeed. Theo's just shoveling up the soil that was left over from when the footings were put in, and it's perfect actually because he's putting it in the back of the tractor and it's going to get dumped down by my garden so the raised bed can begin to get filled. Not today because I've got a crick in my neck and it really hurts. I did something weird in my sleep, I don't quite know what, but it really hurts, so that's not going to happen today, but it'll be there ready for when I am physically able to do it. This soil is wonderful, really nice. Looking forward to getting it in there. Just need to prepare it so it can actually have the soil in it. Already been piling up bits ready to go in there. Got a lot more of that where that came from. And this is the first of many piles of soil that can go in. And I may as well do a little garden update. Everything is thriving, doing really nicely, especially some of these absolute monsters right at the front. Still not 100% sure what's what. If anyone who's watching knows, do let me know. I know I've got cauliflower, broccoli and cabbage, just not sure what's what because none of them came with labels when I planted them. But I know that when the actual vegetable grows, I'll be able to tell then, but I'd like to know now because I'm very impatient.
So I'm just putting the gutter on now, and obviously I knew there was going to be a slight problem because the pitch is different, so the brackets that we've got aren't for the correct pitch, but this is only temporary. I'm going to pour a bottle of water down there in a bit and see what happens, but I think it's going to be fine. It just means that the gutter is kind of slanted over this way a bit, but I don't think there's going to be enough rain coming into the gutter at once to overspill. I don't think so.
No,
and
I don't either.
We've already contacted the company to come out to do our metal guttering, so we're just waiting to hear back when they can come and fit it. It's probably going to be in the new year now, but yeah, it looks so much nicer with lovely new metal guttering, and our problems have finally been solved.
We've put most of the actual guttering up now, as you can see. It fit wonderfully, but the only problem is this down bit now is obviously not the same length as the initial one, so Theo's just measuring up so we can cut this one to size because it does need cutting. And then it can fit in place and it's all done and dusted, jobs are good. And so what's the difference, Theo?
160 we need to cut off.
Ah, okay.
Well, we need to cut it to 160.
That's not actually that much of a difference really, is it?
Really not.
I was expecting it to be more than that. So 160 or 170 it needs to go to 160. So Theo's going to chop that now. Such a shame, I've got a crick in my neck so I can't do any real physical labour today. So, you know, poor Theo's just having to do everything. Happy? Perfect.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Works. Success! It's working. Obviously we haven't completely finished the guttering just yet, but we know that the guttering that connects to the tiles catches all the water wonderfully, which is what we wanted to see. Yeah! Well, we're really getting close to moving into the barn now, and that new addition to the back of it is beginning to make it feel even more like a home. There's so much to come, there's still so much to do. This week I can already feel it is going to be a very busy one, but I'm really excited to continue working on our future home. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on the next video.